These are the Alstonia apartments in Greater Noida, just outside New Delhi. One of several tower blocks in this area that are home to hundreds of African, mainly Nigerian, students who have come to India looking for an education. But for the last 3 days, residents here and elsewhere in Greater Noida have lived under police guard, following a bout of mob violence that has targeted Africans and African students generally.
The trouble started with the death of Manish Curry, an Indian teenager who lived in this part of town. Mr. Curry's parents say their son died of a drugs overdose sold to him by their Nigerian neighbours. There followed a series of protests against the death by Indians in Greater Noida, which quickly turned ugly. Last Monday night, the protesters came across 3 Nigerians in the Ansal Mall. They attacked these 3, plus another in nearby Parichok, hospitalising all 4. But Nigerians who live here say they're not surprised.
We are very much worried about our security. As a matter of fact, we can't walk on the streets. A policeman came to my house this afternoon and told us vividly that we are not allowed to come outside on the street for 3 days. That we should have their number. If we want to get anything, we should call them. But they have a freedom of movement in my country. They have freedom of speech in my country. They have right to live in my country. Then why are they depriving us of that?
An estimated 5,000 African students live in this part of town, drawn by the promise of cheap education, which they hope will propel them to careers abroad. But while here, many locals say, they run into deeply ingrained prejudices among many in India against Africans, and in fact, anyone with dark skin.
So it's not just about Africans. Even if an Indian guy has or a girl has a dark complexion, even that person is targeted,
Here in Greater Noida's NSG society is where the trouble all started. The house behind me used to be home to the African students who were originally accused of being responsible for the death of Manish Curry. Now they've been seized by police, and all that remains is some discarded football kit. Meanwhile, Africans across Greater Noida must get on with their lives under the shadow of potential violence. Kiran Stacey, Financial Times, Greater Noida.